All right. I wanted to go into a little explanation on some of the stuff I had to deal with before the job I used to have before I lost it. Let me tell you how bad this was. Now then, y'all know I live in an apartment, right? This stuff was connected to my old job, right? Now, when I say karma is a bitch, I mean karma is a real bitch. And I'm not joking. Because what you're going to see, as you see there, putting a laser gun to the head destroys your penile gland. Little people, um, everybody who I was working around in that place, that they're still doing that to them, even now. Even while I was there, before I lost the job. Now I hope everybody starts to understand like why I didn't really give a fuck about losing that job. But there's more to it than that. There's way more to it. You see, I knew it was like that job was a means to an end, especially since I was tipped off that I was blacklisted. So here's one scenario that happened because I had to get my card changed. Fortunately, this happened twice. First time this happened, I dropped my card and it was in the locker. At some point, it was either no, it wasn't in a locker. It must have been a lunchroom or somewhere that I dropped it down at. And so, right, so apparently one of the goons gets hold of it. Eventually, so the procedure when you gotta cancel a card out, unfortunately you gotta receive a paper check. So that's what happened. Um, so on my way to the bank, right? I figured, all right, I might as well just go ahead and just cash my check here. Because I lost a card and had to get a new one. And it turns out the lady's coming up and telling me, well, the check is not easy pay, right? So I said, okay, let me just go and confirm this with the guy who managed. Now, this guy who manages the checks and stuff, he's not one of them. They get rid of him later on, though, because he's not the type who would do the kind of shit that they do. And I'm pretty sure TIs know when they move someone out, they look to move their own people in who are corrupt. So he checks with HR and everything, and then I bring the check back, telling him, well, like it is easy pay, and even HR confirmed it. The lady still looked at it again, rang it through, nothing. She's just saying, no, it's just not working. The lady was paid off and told not to cash that check, everybody. So here's what happens next. I go to a Walmart. They run it through the system, and they say, "Oh, well, like the check, it's not. The system's not picking it up. It's not picking it up." And then as soon as I notice the check, I'm like, "Why is there damage on this check?" So I confirm this with the family member, and she's telling me, the family member's telling me that like it's a fucking felony to be fucking around with checks like that, for them to do that. So I'm like, okay. Um, by the way, I tried two different Walmarts. Same stupid shit, okay? Same stupid stuff. Didn't cash it because the whole thing was a game and they were told not to cash the damn thing. So I hope when I finish telling this situation to people, I hope they understand why I'm like fed up with the system. Fuck the system. And fuck the people who work for it. Not for the people who don't mean to do corruption, but the people who mean to, just fuck with people like that. Screw that. I'm not finna waste my time like that. No. It's dangerous for me to even stay in this apartment even now. Why? Well, it's quite simple. Every time I leave, they could just poison something. They'll lace your doorknob. They'll lace different objects you gotta go pick up from downstairs and shit when it's your mail. They can lace your trash. They can lace your floor. They can do anything with that shit. It's a controlled environment with cameras everywhere. I seek to break free from this controlled environment, and they know that that's gonna happen. This is why they're getting desperate. But anyway, So I can't use that check. I take it in to show the person who manages the checks, right? So he says, "Okay, I'll print you out another one, but this will be the only time I can do this because he can't print another one out after this." I take precaution. This is before I realized my family member was actually involved with the bullshit. This is before I even realized that my family was involved with this bullshit. So I had my cousin pull up. He plays his witness. The dude knows what's going on. He knows the shit that's going on. He knows the people doing it. I just didn't know that he knew about the shit that was going on. And it wasn't until he psyoped me that I started to realize that he was involved. So eventually the cash gets checked. Mind you, I needed that check to pay out the rent. So you see why they were fucking with that. I'm long since done with the system and all this bullshit. I'm gonna build up my my little houseboat or pontoon or whatever they call it, and then I'm gone. I was able to find different websites with good materials for this stuff, so I'll be just using that, and then traveling down the main road with the supplies until I make it to the shoreline. They already know. They already know this shit, so I don't even give a fuck about even mentioning it in the video. I did check the hours on how long it would take, and surprisingly, it won't even take me a full day to get to where I need to go. Not at all. As far as building the actual vessel itself, not sure how much time that'll take, but it shouldn't take very long. It shouldn't. I don't know if fellow TIs want me to leave links to where I found these websites at that actually has these things for decent prices to where you can build your own. But if so, just let me know in the comments, and then I'll make a video showcasing the links. Yeah, so eventually that gets cashed, and oh man, dude, that's why that's one of the main reasons why I'm leaving society. Everybody, it's because they're trying to make it a cashless society. They already are getting rid of change. You may have not noticed it yet because it hasn't happened in your area yet, but it will. It will. You're gonna start noticing that the change isn't around anymore. It may not happen now, but it's gonna happen soon. Oh yeah, definitely yeah. So all the time when I was working at that job, I've already told you all about like how I would have to swap out a freezer suit. They would have that suit laced with nano, and I couldn't take a sample of it because it wasn't my property. And I had to work in that crap. A suit completely filled with nano. Now then, I got another video of a website I'm gonna show you all soon. I believe I did bookmark it, so that'll be a good thing. So I'll probably just have it attached to this video so y'all can just check it out. It has very many different variations towards what black goo is. It's got many different exposing a lot of the symbolism that they got in the video games. Dude, I am sorry for people who do play this. I am so sorry to say it, but yes, they even have their bullshit in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Yeah, definitely. Even in a game as innocent looking as that, they have their shit in there, man. It's like you cannot have a game without without these assholes infiltrating it and messing with it. You can't have a game like that. The only game you could possibly have without any bit of symbolism at all is Pong. I think both Pong is the only freaking game you will ever be able to find. And I'm talking about the old classic Pong. You won't find no symbolisms in there. You go to sports, dude, they have sports all. I hope people saw that last video that I talked about the news. You saw what they did when it came to, dude, this was more than one sports event. That when there was a guy trying to, set out a prayer, they cut him off. I hope people understand what that means. They don't call it the Beast Media for nothing. They don't take a damn rocket scientist to figure that out. These people who are responsible for this are going to lie in your face Even when the evidence that points clear as day shows this stuff for what it is. They're going to lie in your face. And they know what's going on, but they're not going to care. They're not. And it's so dumb, it is so retarded because this shows the karma that I'm talking about. And these idiots who work for these people think like everything's going to be all handy dandy and all right. No, no. And this is another reason as to why I'm saying some of these people are probably controlled. They're probably freaking mind control for all I know. Most likely. Because there have been fellow TIs who came out and said, sometimes they really do remote manipulate the people around you. Sometimes they actually do that. Now, if you're wondering, I was actually, you notice the different change in tone of my voice, right? That's because I just got through using my Rife belt, and I used the Rife frequency that I showed you all for heavy metals. Nano has aluminum particles in it. Isn't an aluminum a type of metal? So what happens when you use a Rife frequency that detoxes heavy metals out of your system? You see where I'm going with that? Now, the Rife belt, I was able to I didn't even have to just have it strapped on. I laid that thing flat down, and I laid down right on it, having my back along with it. The only problem was the radiation, but I do have aloe vera plants, and I do have seeds too. I made sure I got some seeds while I still could, get a hold of them. So if I ever decide to grow them, then I'll have that on my houseboat as well. Man, though, I'm debating whether I want to get a pet if I leave out because there's like going to a store. I hope people understand when I say when I'm going out, I'm going to live on the land. I ain't trusting any fucking thing they put in the stores. I don't care. Screw the money. Screw the crap they got in the stores. I'm done with that kind of lifestyle for good. Once I set sail, that's it. I'll probably do some update vids out on the seas, but that's it. Other than that, like I'm just leaving this crap behind. That's all I got to say. I'm gonna have my little greenhouse on that boat too, so I'll be able to grow my stuff up and have that harvested, let it grow some seeds, package the seeds away, and then have that for another growing as well. I still don't have as many seeds as I really need though. But as far as like food, well, don't they got plenty, like a whole lot of fish in the sea? Mm-hmm. Don't have to spend all. One other thing that I noticed, they made shit. You notice that like boats are way more expensive than cars, dude. You can get a car for under $1,000, but you want to get any kind of boat. I even came across something called porta boats, something that you can just immediately like construct, like immediately outstruct easily, right? They want over two damn grand for that. Crazy, simply crazy. There's no engine on it, and the damn thing is just nothing but a hunk of fiberglass with just unfoldable parts and detachable parts, and it just does. It's just like, dude, like really? That's too much. Okay. So now I'm picking up tinnitus. That's going into my left ear. And it's a good thing that I'm able to sense that when it happens. But here's the problem, everybody. I can detox all I want, but it's not going to do me any good if I'm in a controlled area like this, to where they can just keep lacing stuff down and shit like that. It's not going to do me no good. It really isn't. So I need to get out of a controlled environment to where I can just detox this crap out of my system and have it fully off. Have it fully out. Won't even have to worry about any of it. If I get a pet, it's definitely going to be a dog, though. Because dogs, they are very high alertive. And another thing, I mentioned it before, I'll mention it again. The sea salt in the ocean. This kind of crap, it can't, just being around that stuff, I understand that's even going through the you know that stuff is going through the air too. That sea salt in the air as well. Yeah, it really detoxifies that stuff. It truly does. But man, dude, man, when I head out, that's it. I'm not even gonna look back. TIs, fellow TIs, I highly recommend you all to do the same. Figure something out. I had other ideas. You know, buy like you could buy like a cheap moving truck and actually outfit it, have like some windows on the side or whatever, have a unfoldable staircase in the back, and have instead of having like a huge, you know, roll down door, you could just have that whole thing just flatten out and it have nothing but a door in the back. I got that idea because I actually saw a female TI, and she found a freaking truck, and she found a whole bunch of these perps who were using the computerized systems. And you see, I want everybody to understand why the sea is a lot better than land. It's because in the sea they literally have to, and I do mean they have to be somewhere near you with this computerized shit. These transceivers that they use helps them, calibrate their connections. Man, let me tell you something. How come if they could do this for several miles away, well, how come they're using a drone? Why are they using a drone? If this stuff is only just via satellite, how come they gotta put you know, several different towers down, right? How come they gotta do that? You think I'm not gonna notice that shit if I go out in the middle of the sea? You think I'm not gonna get footage of these assholes trying to do some shit like that? Please, please, I would catch them easily for what they're doing. Anybody near me, I would catch the identification of the vessel. I would get literally, the image of what they look like. I believe I did show a video when I went out, and I had filmed this little tower thing that they had attached to the bridge outside. The two guys that went outside doing that shit had sunglasses on. They weren't dressed up like repairmen. They weren't dressed up like people who actually work around electronics. No, they were in casual clothes, shorts, collar shirts. Not the kind of stuff that you would wear to go to work. No, the type of stuff that you would wear to just, lounge in. And of course, I saw a power truck not too far from where they were coming from. So I know how to turn this shit off, and I want everybody to understand. It is the nano machines that they are using to do this shit. You get that crap out of your system, you turn their shit off. The whole point why they have the nano machines in your system is to make to actually construct that fungus. This is why China was actually fucking around with C19, because C19. And if you start researching a lot of stuff with insects, you start to come to the realization that this shit is related to fungi. Oh yes. Oh yes. And this shit has at least around three different stages of metamorphosis. The first one is the first stage is like a worm-like insect. The second one is a crawling-like one, and then the third stage is a flying one. But before they develop the wings, they'll hop around a bit. Well, actually, no, the crawler has the ability to hop around, but there is also the flying one too. So it has three different stages. However, it's because the reason why your attacks are so severe, female TIs, haven't you noticed when you apply makeup onto you that like you get that itching sensation? It's because you got to stop using it. And this is for the female TIs who don't know. You got to stop using that because a lot of the shit that they're putting in the products has been altered to heighten the effects of this stuff. They playing this shit out. So when you're putting on your little, using your lipstick or your lip balm or whatever the hell they call that stuff, technically that's what's amping up the effects of the torture they're trying to submit you to. You got to stop using makeup. You got to stop using lipstick. Stop using that stuff because that is what's making your attacks worse. Fellas, same thing goes for you. Not with makeup, because, well, men don't use makeup unless you're into that sort of thing. But don't use any of the factory-based cleaning products. This goes for both men and women. Don't use don't use liquid detergents. Don't use those. Don't use any liquid-based hygiene products. Don't use toothpaste. Don't use any of that shit. Okay? I long since cut all of that crap out of my system, out of my daily routine. The only thing I wash up with is baking soda. That's it. I don't use any type of plastic like sponge. The only thing I use is a loofah. A lot of people don't know where the loofahs come from. They come from a particular type of plant. These things are easily used for for being able to scrub the skin cells off your body, the dirt off your body too, all of that. So I utilize both that, borax, and or baking soda. You can use the baking soda for cleaning your clothes. You can use the borax for cleaning your clothes. Both of these things kick that Nano's ass. And what do these things just so happen to have in common? They have some sort of salt-like texturism to them. Both of them do. And I started to realize that not regular salt, but sea salt has a high, and this is what it was in the ingredients that I mentioned you all with, that was basically ejecting this shit out of my body even while it was alive. Okay? This stuff was alive and it was still getting kicked out of my system. I don't know how much fill time I got, so I'm gonna hurry up and wrap this up. But those ingredients that, and I've already mentioned it before for all you who already know. For people who don't know, just check back at the bottom of the list. You'll see it for yourself. Without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and play the video. Definitely check out A Plain Truth 5. It is definitely, in fact, Plain Truth 5. That must have been A Plain Truth 4 that I saw. Must have been that they took down.
I want to talk to you about the temperature checks they're doing with the temperature guns, and I want to read you a post which was on Solutions Empowerment, but I do not know where it was reposted from. And there's a couple of things to think about. The very act of pointing a gun at someone's head and normalizing that, particularly towards, well, anyone's head, but particularly the children, it has to have an effect on you at an energetic level, and it's terribly wrong. But there's also other things to think about too, particularly with regard to your pineal gland, which is vitally important and something which is under constant attack and has been for a long time, because it's the bridge, if you will, or the gateway is probably a better one, to the higher energy realms, the spirit worlds. Anyway, let me read you this, and this is from an Australian nurse. I'm really worried. I've started implementing the new protocols in force. One of my new tasks is taking and recording each person's temperature. I aim for the center of their forehead with my thermometer-shaped gun. I pull the trigger, wait for the beep, and record the temperature. I always apologize to the person before proceeding. After doing this a dozen or more times, I suddenly had a realization. Are we being desensitized to be targeted at the head and also causing potential health issues by aiming an infrared ray to the pineal gland? So I started taking the temperature on the wrist, which turned out to be more accurate given that the forehead is cooler than the wrist and the results differ by more than 1 degree in some cases. I went to a shopping mall and people were lining up to get their temperatures taken by...
Before I play this any further, everybody, they're doing this at the people who were at my job, which is why I brought this up. Like I said, karma's a bitch, and it's a shame because, like, it's not that there are bad people out there like that. There are bad people, but I'm saying, like, they will use even people who have good intentions, who just want to protect their, the people in their community and whatnot, and they'll have, it's really fucked up, it really is fucked up. This is why I was mentioning, like, it's important for TIs to, like, one good way to advertise your channel to help spread awareness is to get a shirt. Get a shirt, get all these channels' names on there. That's a good way to advertise it. Say, check these channels out on YouTube, something like that, But as you all know, they really mess with, when it comes to your funds, they find a way to basically break you down, which is what they desperately were trying to do to me. But did I make it easy for them? No. Hell no. It took them, I want to say, about 3 years, because this was going on even before the 2 years. This is going before long before the year before the last. I just didn't realize it, but it took them 3 years to just to make that happen. You think I'm not strong? Shit. They know damn well I'm strong. If it took that much, then yeah, they know damn well I'm strong. You all are as well. Some of you may not have found that strength, but it's always been there. You just gotta start. You just gotta learn how to start using it. Most of the times when it comes to this targeting, even if the police are involved, you gotta learn when it's time to put your foot down. And that's what That's what I'm talking about when it gets to the point to using their own defenses against them. So that's one good tactic you can keep in mind.
Employee who was obviously not a medic and was not properly educated on how to correctly perform this procedure. Many were shocked when it was my turn and I took the gun that was being directed at my forehead and redirected it to my wrist. I spoke softly but firmly and told the employee that an infrared thermometer must never be pointed at someone's forehead, especially babies and young children. In addition, it requires basic knowledge of how to properly read someone's temperature, i.e., placing a thermometer on the wrist or elbow fold is much more accurate and much less harmful. It was very disturbing to me to observe children getting used to seeing an object the shape of a gun aiming at the forehead and without any negative reaction from the adults as if this was normal and acceptable. As a medical professional, I refused to directly target the pineal gland, which is located directly in the center of the forehead with an infrared ray. However, most people agree to go through this several times a day. Our pineal glands must be protected as it is crucial for our health both now and in the future. The pineal gland is a small pinecone-shaped gland of the endocrine system, a structure of the encephalon of the brain. Hope I said that right. The pineal gland produces the hormone melatonin. Melatonin influences sexual development and sleep-wake cycles. And if you remember from another video I did, melatonin is one of the strongest, if not the strongest antioxidant. It's absolutely critical for your body's health. The pineal gland is composed of cells called pinealocytes and cells of the nervous system called glial cells. The pineal gland connects the endocrine system with the nervous system, and it converts nerve signals from the sympathetic system of the peripheral nervous system into hormone signals. Over time, calcium deposits build up in the pineal, and its accumulation can lead to calcification in the elderly. Function. The pineal gland is involved in several functions of the body, including secretion of the hormone melatonin, regulation of endocrine functions, conversion of nervous system signals to endocrine signals, causes sleepiness, influences sexual development, influences immune system function, antioxidant activity. Ask yourself, is it ever wise to aim an infrared laser light at the pineal gland? I'm going to leave you to have a think about that one. If you are subjected to those kind of temperature checks, you might want to redirect that to your elbow fold or your wrist to give them a more accurate reading and to avoid any potential health damage that they are inadvertently being trained to cause in you. You guys are amazing. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.
Man. I want to say something, but excuse me. I want to say something, but okay. Everybody, they're still doing that to the people at my job, and this is why I say, like, this tech is very sinister. Those people, I'm telling you, like, because if they're doing that shit to me, chances are they're doing that shit to other people. And I've been able to tell this shit way long before they even attempted it on me, because I wasn't falling for it. This is why they had to lay certain objects, because they know I'm not dumb enough to fall for it. They would send a person, but it isn't just the lacing that they do via handshake when it comes to the nano poisons, because yes, after I got confirmation of that dude who was rubbing his hand on the fucking doorknob, and I've witnessed this multiple times. They ain't gonna do it in front of me this time because camera glasses. If I catch him doing some shit like that, dude, if I catch him doing some shit like that, I'm gonna make sure their face gets seen. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make damn sure so they'll see this fucker here. This dude was paid off to try to poison me, so be careful because he may try to do the same shit to you. And it's an important thing. It's an important thing about that. Excuse me. These perps don't think about, dude, they're getting fucked over anyway. Even now they are. They definitely are. The temperature checks, they're doing that at my job. So, you know, they were actually aiming this same kind of shit at your head. Yeah. And they were just going on as if it didn't matter. They went on as if it didn't even fucking matter. And they still doing it, even now. So you see what that says. It destroys your pineal gland. Dude, how they're going to work for a fucked up organization that's crooked as hell, by the way. The freaking managers in there are fucking crooked. People who own the place are crooked. And their only excuse is, well, I want the money. I want the people have been brainwashed to want paper money. Desperately. That they would kill them, they would kill another person over that shit. And they kill themselves over that. Can anybody say, I don't know, mind manipulation? This is when I read my tarot card reading a while ago. Not recently, but like one of the older ones I read. And I looked up the video for it to have it read. And she said the people doing this shit don't give two fucks. And I'm like, well, they're narcissists, so like I'm not surprised. That's how narcissists are. They're not gonna give a damn about any of the stuff that they do. So why would, like, you know something, and I want TIs to understand, this is why I don't waste my energy on them. It's not worth it. It is not worth wasting your energy out on these types of people. Don't do it. Because you're gonna end up really stressing yourself out more than what they're doing to you, causing you to be stressed out, you know? I'm pretty sure every TI will agree with me when I say this. If there was a time for us to all come together to basically make a settlement or some shit, now would be the time. But as you all would definitely also agree, that's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. And it's not an easy thing. When you got all these people out there fucking you over like that, it's not easy. And I know asking that and expecting something like that immediately, like that's too much. That's too much to ask from even a fellow TI. And I know because I myself am a TI. It's not something easy for me to just go out and do. Dude, I had my own damn cousin set me the fuck up in a fucked up neighborhood. And I'm not the only TI whose own family members turned against them like that. But at the same time, this is all I got to say. You ever wonder why these people high up are so desperate? They try to get you to forget about God, forget about Jesus and all that shit. You ever wonder about that? You ever wonder why they're so desperate for stuff like that? You ever wonder? And again, remember what I told you all. I started picking up tinnitus in the left ear. And I told you about the mood change. I did tell you all about that. Notice the tone of my voice at the beginning of this video to now? You notice the change? That, ladies and gentlemen, is called thought manipulation. They'll implant certain thoughts into you as a desperate means to program you. As long as you are picking up tinnitus, that's you are in dangerous territory of being programmed. Whenever you're picking up tinnitus, you are in dangerous territory of being programmed. And that's exactly what I mean. Um, the only time you know for a fact you're really screwing over their tech is when you cut off the tinnitus. When you cut that off, then you know you screwed over their systems. Now, I could easily detox this shit out of my body. I could. Problem is that, well, you can't just and by the way, if anybody does go out to sea and you make a detox barrel, don't throw this shit in the river. Throw it out on land somewhere, but not in the river. Don't do that. But then again, I don't know. No, because seawater, something like this, because of all that salt, I don't think it would survive. At least that's what I believe. But this stuff is, I don't know. I don't know. Plus, the seawater I'll probably use is gonna be, it's gonna have a whole bunch of salt in it. So that's like a bonus. So, well, that makes up for the lack of borax or baking soda. Also, a lot of people are wondering, did you know that there are plants you could also buy that actually have the effects of soap? Did you know that? Yeah. You don't have to buy these manufactured bar soaps that have these toxic chemicals in them. You can buy a plant and grow your own soap. Did you know that? Did you know you can actually grow your own plant that has the same functions of soap? Did you know that you can technically just make carbonated water and mix just a few ingredients and make non-toxic cola? Did you know that? And a lot of this stuff is a lot easier than you may think to make. It is. Did you know you can make your own distilled water, not even have to worry about the freaking factories? You see, did you know you can gather up your own water? Did you know you can actually make your own power propulsion system? Stream, via stream, water stream, or via air. Did you know this? There is so much that people are capable of that they don't want you to know. When I say I'm seeking to basically take my fucking freedom back, take my fucking freedom card and basically give Uncle Sam the middle finger, I'm damn well mean it. Screw the system. Screw the pricks who are in charge of the system, because they're not out there for your best benefit. They're out there for nobody but themselves. And no, not even the people who work for them are basically in line, or the people who they're looking out for. No, those people are just being used until they are, they're exposable. They're expendable. They're exposable. Once they're done with them, that's it. And I will say it once again. Look at the Kenneka Jenkins case. Did they not kill those people off? Did they not kill them off in a single fucking month? Did they not? Are we just gonna pretend that this didn't happen? Because it did. And that's exactly what I mean when they are expendable. They do not give a fuck about the people who are even stalking me now. They don't give a fuck about them. They don't. And of course, these people who are doing it are not going to give two shits about it because, well, they know I'm not going to support them. They know this shit. They know it. They know how badly they fucked up, but they know when you get in too deep, then it gets to a point where, like, if you don't, then it gets to the point where they start threatening you is how much I want to bet that, of what they're doing. Saying, well, like, if you don't do this to him, we're going to start doing it to you. You see how they use that shit against people? Look, man, you stay in the city. You're going to be ended up around cell towers all the time. You're going to be even around that tech. You do not want to be around that. I am telling you. It is it is in your best interest to get away from that stuff. It's practically suicide staying around it. And, I mean, again, if people need boats, I mean, I'm willing to help people make boats. That's why I'm gathering up the tools to make this stuff now. I am gathering tools to help people build this stuff. Which is one of the reasons, why I was trying to, reach out to TIs. I still need to do that playlist, finish off that playlist for Louisiana. But people, I'm very saddened by the stuff I've seen. I'm seeing channels that hadn't even made a single video in over 3 to possibly even 10 plus years. Fellow TIs in our local areas, no idea what the hell happened to them. I have absolutely no idea what happened to them. They could either ended up homeless or dead, for all I know. One or the other. Gavin Long, is him as a TI. We only found out about him because he spoke out. And as you know, there's probably a lot of TIs out there who haven't spoken out. There's probably TIs out there who hadn't thought about making a YouTube channel. They probably don't even know about any of this stuff, The only reason why I was able to find communities with, of where targeted individuals are at is because they started blasting me with radiation. So I'm like, there had to been, if they're doing this shit to me, this had to clearly been happening to somebody else. So why not I start researching this stuff, right? And the more I researched, the more I started finding, I'm like, well, if they're hitting me with radiation, what can I use to combat this shit, right? And again, the tinnitus in my left ear is picking up a lot. So understand, it ain't that I can't shut the stuff off. It's just that with me being in this apartment, well, there's frequencies everywhere. It's practically nothing but a freaking coffin. Okay? Staying in an apartment is no different than staying in a coffin, in my opinion, considering today's circumstances. It's a very crazy situation, though. It really is. So if I had to take a guess, I'm definitely being beamed right now on the left side. I could look outside, but this damn thing is above the building, so there's no way I'm going to see it. They're not going to want me to even catch a glimpse of it. But it won't even matter even if that thing shows up above sea level. It won't. If anything, and this is why I got a rifle. This is why I'm getting myself a rifle, too. I'm going to be ready for that bitch when it shows up above sea level. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be ready for it. And when I see it, I'm shooting that bitch down. So let them send a drone. Let them send one when I go out to sea. I'll be ready for that bitch. Oh, yeah, I definitely will. By the way, the rifle is mainly meant for hunting and for safety. That's it. The pistol that I'm going to have is meant only for self-defense. It will remain in its lockbox at all times. Hopefully, there will never be an occurrence to where I'll have to use that. But considering the circumstances of what these people are doing in TIs, you know more than anybody how effed up the situation gets. So, again, the rifle will be mainly for drones. If I see them, I'll shoot them down. And I'll make sure I get a hold of it, because it will be possible for me to do that. And I'll show you guys the technology that they're using to fuck with people. Now then, considering the circumstances, when you use a drone, and this will mainly be in self-defense anyway. When you use a drone with DEW weaponry on it, you are basically, that's no different than assaulting a person. It doesn't matter even if law enforcement's not very well aware of the situation. The same thing still counts. They are well aware that the shit's going on. The one thing they do not want you to have is actually to have their technology in your hands to show people this is what they're using to fuck with you. What would happen if I get a hold of a drone with DEW weaponry on it and show that to people? You think they're going to be happy about that? Do you really think they're going to be happy about any of that? Because I don't think so. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. This tinnitus is getting worse. I need to start detoxing myself right now. In fact, hang on. I need to actually drink some baking soda. Well, not baking soda, but, baking soda with water with baking soda in it. Anyway, stay safe, stay strong, everybody.